Here's the reason why you can't get where you want to go. And it doesn't have anything to do with time, money, resources, or the people you're connected to. Stick with me, and I will help you get to where you want to be in these 3 easy steps. So, how do you feel after you leave an exciting event? Maybe you go to a motivational talk, inspirational talk. You feel excited, right? You feel so good. And I will tell you, if there's one thing I've been to a lot, is a lot of women's events. And we get excited. We have these amazing speakers, and everybody gets up and talks about their struggles. They have their books, they have their leadership 1, 2, 3 steps. And what happens after that? Right? Everybody leaves, they go home, they go back into their regular environment, nothing changes. Right? I bet you that if I had $1 for every person that went to an event and walked away into a motivational event or a TEDx talk and walked away back into their home environments, they have exactly what it is that they need to change and shift, but nothing happens. That's the reason why you're not where you want to be. Motivation, that's a feeling. Discipline, consistency, and having the right vibrational tune, that's a choice. And that's what we got to get into. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I will tell you that I am one of the most disciplined persons that I know. When I say I'm going to do something, I follow through on certain things, on certain things. And have come to realize that you are disciplined and consistent on certain things, but not on others. So the key is because we are high level women. We are people who've gotten to a certain level. We didn't just get there doing just chilling. We got there because we were disciplined. We got there because we were consistent. We got there because we took a look at our habits and we saw what we were doing. And some of you guys did it unconsciously and you got to where you needed to be. But where I stand right now is I work with high level, VP level corporate women who are considered outliers, right? We are too bold to fit the mold. But what I've come to realize is there are certain steps that we've got to know, we've got to take to understand that this shift that we need to have in corporate America to close equity gaps, to speak up for ourselves, to get ourselves healthy, to start to live what I call this authentic power to wealth strategy, it's a long game. And it requires more than motivation. It requires more than a speaking engagement or you going to a talk or reading a book. It requires a persistent view of what it is that you want to get done and actually making a decision, making a choice, drawing the line in the sand and say, from this day forward, I will and I shall do this. It's no quick fix. It's no just, well, today I don't feel like it because I've got all these things going on. No, when you're disciplined at something, you do it at all costs. You make it happen. Why? Because you value it. You prioritize it. You're disciplined. And so today, what I want to share with you is there are some things that you've got to get clear on. And because on this channel, we talk about spiritual connection, we know that what we want, we have to believe that it's already done. And that is the first thing that you have to know is you have to believe it's already done. So let me give an example for myself. I mean, I have so many examples of me being disciplined at something, and I know you can too. That's the reason why you're probably sitting there like, I am a disciplined person. Right. You are. Like I said, you are a disciplined person. But what I want you to do is I want you to apply the principles that you use to get you where you wanted to be. And I want you to apply it to whatever it is you're trying to achieve in this particular moment. This is a homework exercise. So let me give you an example of what I realized how good I am at being disciplined. So when I did not pass the bar exam the first time, I knew that I needed to get really serious about this. And so What I started to discover was when I took the bar exam the first time, man, I was studying hard. I was doing all the work. I was staying up late, doing extra hours, doing the things. But there was one thing that I was not good at. And you know what it was? It was believing that I passed. It was believing that I passed. It was already claiming the outcome. So what I realized that in order to get where I wanted to go, I had to see the end in mind, and then I had to feel as though it was already done. I had to deconstruct, right, what it felt like to have already passed the bar exam. Now, I did not know what I know now that I did back then. Okay. I did not realize that back then I was actually shifting my mind into this mindset, right? But what I was doing, what I was setting myself up for success the second time around, because what I began to do was I printed out the results of my exam. I wrote the score that I was actually going to get. And then I started to take time to visualize myself taking the exam. I felt as though I had already taken the exam. And I would repeat over and over and over the idea that I had already passed, right? And I started to feel the vibration of already passing. And I started to convince myself that it was already so. So I was in alignment with what I would call a vibrational alignment. So each one of us has an appearance of where we want to go, but we have to see ourselves stepping into that. You want to lose weight? You got to realize that it's already so. And you also have to believe it's already done and you're going to take the actions to get it done. And you're gonna step into what that feels like, you see? That is a huge, huge thing that I did the second time I took the bar exam as opposed to the first time. The first time, I just really did not believe that I could pass. Second, I was so sure that I'd already passed that I knew what it felt like to pass. You see what I'm saying? And so that vibrational alignment that you have to be for that person that's already done what they're done, you have to feel that. You have to know that. That's what I like to call getting into vibrational alignment. We speak a lot about that in our community, and that's something that I need to know of. That's the first thing that I want you to land on. Now, that actually is a whole separate conversation that I want to get deeper on. But for now, that's what I want you to know. Second, discipline. Discipline, meaning like you have to choose it. I've had a lot of women that I coach, and what I've come to realize is they say they want this, but they're not choosing it, right? They're allowing all these other factors to get in the way. So it's just kind of like laissez-faire, like, well, yeah, I want it. Well, you don't understand. I have all these things that I want to get done. Then you don't want it. It's a choice, right? Like a lot of people that couldn't pass the bar exam, and I'll use that as an example is because they were allowing all these other obstacles to get in the way and they weren't actually following through, making the choice, the conscious choice every single day to do it, even when you didn't feel like it, even when you had all these things going on, even when you just couldn't see yourself making it that day. You would just do it. Disciplined people make conscious choices to do that, right? They just choose it. And so that's what I want you to know. What are you choosing? Right? And then that vibrational alignment is key, but what are you choosing? And what are you going to be disciplined at? Now, the next thing is consistency and follow through, right? Cuz I'm choosing it, but you've got to choose it often every single day. You might say, "Well, what's the difference between discipline and consistency?" I would say discipline is that you're going to keep going hard, hard, hard. Consistency is that I'm going to keep following through. I'm gonna keep following through. I'm gonna keep following through and be committed to it. Commitment just does. I actually wrote a whole chapter on this about committing to something and following through every single time. How committed are you to something, right? And disciplined at it. And where is your vibrational alignment to it? I would say that this is the top factor of why people don't get where they wanna go, right? I just think that a lot of people take such a floppy a floppy, way in which they approach their lives. And I would say mostly I see women, and when I coach them, they get in and like anything else, you get in, you're excited, "I'm gonna do this," and then life be lifing, family be familying, right? And all these other obligations tend to go in. But what I also notice is that people that wanna pass a test or they want to go an exam, they gonna sit down and they're gonna take that test, and they're gonna follow through on that exam, right? I really do know that they don't take that same type of commitment and put it into their daily lives. And so I want you to get where you want to go, and I wanna ask you, how disciplined are you? How consistent are you? How committed are you? Do you believe that you deserve and you are worthy of this? Now, this is a really hard thing to do on your own. It really is hard to be by yourself, getting yourself up to do these things. How amazing would it be if you were in a community of committed, disciplined, vibrationally aligned women who are consistently getting to the next level? How amazing would that be? That is exactly what we had with our Rise 53 Inner Circle. My goodness, do I want to get you involved with this? Because when you do, your whole entire life will change. I have always said, I want to be around high achievers. High achievers are not, they also in our community are very balanced. We lower our stress levels. We're living with a sense of ease, but we are intentional, we're disciplined, we're committed, and we're rising. We're wealthy, we are healthy, and we also deal, our relationships are really healthy. And so I just want to know, is that the type of lifestyle that you want? Because if that's the type of lifestyle that you want, then my sister, you are in the right place. So, what I want you to do is I want you to write in the comments what it is that you intend to be disciplined with, what it is that you intend to commit to. And also write down that vibrational alignment that you are going to stay focused on. Here's the end goal. How are you going to deconstruct that and get to where you want to be? That's the proof. Like, it's like a life design. You have to design your life the way that you want it. Now, I just give you another personal experience and I promise I'm going to close. But I want to let you know that I've committed to a lifestyle of fitness and health. I wake up every morning and I get my mind clear. I get my focused on visualizing and seeing myself already in my future state. And I say, well, what would my future state do right now? My future state would do right now would get up out of bed and would go get that workout in. And then my future state would also fill up my water bottle, get myself going, and get myself focused. Why? I've already written out what that future state looks like. And these are the habits of that future state person. So if you are needing assistance in figuring out, well, what would that person do and feel like, with that vibrational alignment, go to your artificial intelligence tool and ask your AI assistant, what would they do? And then mimic it, be it. Because in reality, there is a dimension of yourself that really wants to live that out. And I want you to have that. So I want you to live with this is our authentic power to wealth strategy. I want you to know that you're worthy of claiming that. I hope this video is helpful to you. I hope it inspires you and gets you excited about getting to your next level because you deserve that. You're worthy of that. You have to believe that you are worthy of that. And when you do, and you get around the women in our Rise 53 inner circle, you have no other place to go but rise. Sound good, my sister? All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And we're going to put a link in there for the Rise 53 Inner Circle. And we have more beautiful things for you to do because you could be in our newsletter and just getting this good and plenty every single week in your email. If so, sign up for that as well. All right. We'll see you in the next video.